What up, world? Welcome to another episode of RMT. That's Real Men Talk. It's your boy, Stan the Man, coming to you with another great conversation piece on today. And before we get started, I want to thank you for joining me here on RMT. So let's go ahead and get into it today. Today, we want to talk about, have you paid your dues? Yes, have you paid your dues? And just being honest, when we go into thinking about paying our dues, we think about fees that are owed to certain things that we want to be a part of. So if we want to be a part of the homeowners associates, we have fees that we have to pay. If you want to join this certain fraternity, here you have fees that you have to pay. If you got this union that you want to join, there's certain fees that you have to pay. Even if you have a license to be able to perform certain things, you have to pay fees in order to get that license. So have you paid your fees in order to be where you are? See, let's get into it real quick, right? So we go through life and we expect the easiest road to get to the highest pay. We expect the easiest roads to get to the best position, the highest paying position, or the position with the most prestige. And we go through and we want a fast pace and we forget about the space in the middle. And yeah, you might ask, what are you referring to talking about the space in the middle? When I talk about the space in the middle, I'm talking about the lessons, the time, the failures, all those things that happen in the middle. When we go to school, you can't just fast track and go from the kindergarten to the 12th grade. It's a lot of things in between that you have to learn going to the 12th grade. It's a lot of things in between going into life that you have to learn. I talked to an older gentleman today, and he said, you have to learn how to be a good parent. And I thought about that. You have to pay your dues in order to be a good parent. We are not born and automatically parents. When we born, we children. We have somebody else taking care of us, our parents, grandparents, however it may be. Some people might have foster homes they came from. Some people might come from other um some people might come from other walks of life. But I say this, when you first came here you wasn't a parent. So as you grew older and you matured and you started doing grown folks things, then you end up being a parent. And just because you had the child, a child don't come with an instruction manual on, okay, on this child you have to do this. On your Each child you have is different. So since you don't get an instruction manual on how to do it, those kids are teaching you how to be a parent. Your parents can give you all the information about how they raise you, but your child is different. So now, since your parents did their part, you can take some of that information and apply it to you raising your child, but it's time for you to pay your dues in order to properly raise your child the way you need to raise them. So, staying up at night, watching them to see what they like, what they dislike, how they want to be held, things they're allergic to. You have to learn all those things in order to be a good parent. Learning how to talk to them in tough situations. Learning how to inspire and how to push that inspiration inside of your child in order to motivate them to do better, to let them know that they can do better, they can be better, they can do these type of things. You are learning that, and you are building up equity within your child, that you can pull out and be like, you did this, you did that. But also it's teaching you how to parent them. It's teaching you. So you are paying your dues in order to be a good parent. You're making that sacrifice in order to be a good parent. You get there. So let's switch gears for a second. And just in life, we have people out here that think they can get something for nothing, right? They can get something for nothing. I can take the easy way. I can get the quick buck. I can become an instant millionaire. You have people on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. They selling all type of courses, right? Get your real estate course, be a millionaire overnight. I think Publishing Clearinghouse still making money. That's for some of y'all older folks. You got the lotto, overnight millionaires. But a lot of times, if you go listen to the stories of the millionaires that came about by the lotto, they lost a lot of it because they didn't know how to manage it. They went back to their old life. You hear that? They lost a lot of it because they got it so fast and it wasn't something that they work for, so they didn't value it that much. They didn't value it that much. I remember my pops when I got my first car. My first car was my mom that passed away. It was her car. And I got that car. I didn't pay any I didn't pay nothing for it. Didn't have to pay any insurance on it. They didn't have to fix nothing on it. It was ready to go, right? So I didn't really value that car how I should have valued the car, and I ended up wrecking it, tearing it up, and I lost it, right? So after that, I had to save up my money, and I had to buy my own car. But when I bought my own car, I made sure that I didn't act the fool while I was driving it. I made sure that I got the oil changed. I made sure if something was going on, I went and got it fixed. So I appreciated that car a little bit more because I had put more work and effort into it. See, I understand how you feel when people get something so quick and it look like they didn't do nothing for it. When people get to the place that you thought you should be at and it look like they didn't have to put no effort towards it, and you constantly gotta work. You constantly gotta grind, you constantly gotta focus, and it look like they just did this, did that, they got around the right people, they just blew up so fast. And you gotta slow grind. You gotta set up your own camera, you gotta do your own content, you gotta record, um you gotta learn how to record. You gotta learn how to edit. You gotta learn how to post different things. You gotta learn how to do all these things. And they never learned all of it. They just ran around and did it. They just ran around and blew up. Now you like, man, how they do that? How was they able to get to the job and move up so fast and I couldn't? How was they able to build a business so fast and I couldn't? But the thing about it is that, yeah, they blew up fast. Don't get me wrong. Some people move quicker than other people, but just think about this. Even though you might be moving slow, you're building stamina. That way you can last longer when you get there. Do you hear me? You building stamina so when you get to the place that you get to the place where you want to be at, you can stay there longer because you got the stamina to keep going. See, sometimes people get to places where they didn't have to work to get there, and they don't be there that long. They don't be there that long. But you working them long hours, you putting in the time, you grinding, and all of that is building up for you to be placed in this position that you in now. That way you can appreciate it more. That way you can appreciate it more. See, you're not gonna be able to really enjoy water until you get to a place where it ain't no water. What's a drought? You might not drink water for a couple of days. So when you get your next drink of water, it's gonna taste like you never drunk water before because of that refresh. You be refreshed because it's something that you ain't had in a while, but your body needs it, right? Your body needs it, and so you able to get that now. And so by you getting that water, you being refreshed, you being rejuvenated by it, now you can go on a little bit further, but that was something that you need. That was something that you needed. And let me tell you this. When you paying your dues, it's hard to deal with society. It's hard to look on Facebook. It's hard to look on Instagram when you paying dues. See, what people have this entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. I don't work for nobody. I run my own business. I got my own business. Yes, I understand all of that, and that is great. That's fantastic. They'll see that part, but you won't see the part of people putting all their money into their business and they failing. You won't see that. You won't see them working 2 or 3 jobs just to support their dreams before it take off. You don't see when they done failed 3 or 4 times or 5 or 6 times at a business and lost a lot of things before they became successful. You might not see that. See, people love to post their wins, but they hate to post their failures. See, if you put up, just say you took an entrepreneur or you took somebody in life and you saw the W's and the L's and you see how you line up, you be like, man, that took a whole lot of losses. They can be 1-50, but their one win took them over the top, but they had 50 losses. They had 50 losses, and that's something that we don't see, and we have to deal with that ourselves. You know how that feel when you paying dues and it seems like ain't nobody there to help? When you sitting up there paying dues and it seems like, God, where you at? You see me grinding, you see me doing what I'm doing the right thing. Why they going faster than me? Why they having more success than me? And let me ask you this. If you really putting in the grind, if you really doing what you need to do, are you doing that? Or are you just busy? Just busy work. Just pretending that you're doing something and you're not actually being productive. It's a difference between being busy and being productive. Being busy is that it appears that I'm doing something and I'm standing in one spot. People can jog in one spot. That don't mean that you're not doing nothing. That don't mean you're not moving. That don't mean you don't have any action. That don't mean that. But you staying in one spot. You jogging in one spot. So yeah, from the outside looking in, if somebody put a camera on you, you sweating, you know, you building up, you in one place, but you don't have no movement. You don't have any movement. But you see somebody that's running, they're practicing, running a mile, running 2 miles, or they got a destination that they want to get to. You can see them moving. It's a different thing. You just in place and it's a whole lot of chatter, but it's no movement that goes along with it. And just think about this. If you standing in one place and running, and somebody standing beside you, you have time to talk to them. You have time, if you in a group and you just in one place running in place, you got time to talk to everybody. But if everybody is standing around and you got a destination to get to 3 miles or 4 miles, or how many miles that you want to run, in order to get there, you're going to have to leave the crowd and move. You're going to have to leave that crowd and it's going to be movement. So you're not going to see the same people. You might see them when you come back around, but you're going to have movement. So you might not see or be able to talk to nobody at that time because you move and trying to get to a destination. And most of us get caught up running in place. We want to seem like we got the motion. We want to seem like we paying our dues. We want to seem like we more successful than what we really are because we can post it and it look like it. But on the back, when we log off, are you really putting in that work in order to be successful? Are you really putting in that work to be a better father, to be a better man, to be a better woman, be a better husband, be a better wife? Are you putting in that work in order to do that? Or are you just posting so people can like, share, and comment on your stuff to make you feel good, to make you feel like you're doing something? You running in place. You're not paying no dues, you running in place. See, sometimes when you paying dues, you stay up at night. You stay up at night crying. You stay up at night praying. You stay up in the night sometimes racking your brain about situation when you should just be giving it up to the Lord. You have to learn those things. It don't come overnight by giving everything to God. See, everybody think that I come to the Lord and I understand everything about God. I haven't built up no time reading the Bible. I haven't built no time up studying. Haven't built up no time praying. I haven't built up any I haven't built up no equity with him, but I want to pull everything from him. I want to get the blessings from him. I want to get the good job from him. I want to get the material things. I want to get the good health. I want those things. I want all the good things, but I don't want to put in any time with you. I don't want to take out part of my day to dedicate to you, but I want all the benefits that come, even though I don't pay my dues. Even though I don't pay my dues. And the funny thing about it is this. Just imagine if you didn't pay your light bill. You think they're going to go off? Yeah, I'm just saying I'm going to pay it. Or you're going to write a note. Your light's going to be off. You don't pay your water bill. You got to pay your dues in order to be able to receive the things that you need to receive properly. You can rush and jump over and skip and try to trick yourself, but it's certain things that you learn along the way when you have to do it yourself that other people that rush, they not gonna know. So when you get there, you gonna know the parts of your business and how it worked because you had to do everything. So when somebody come to you and that part of your business and they saying, well, this didn't happen, I ain't know how to do this, or this did this way, you'll know what's going on because you have done that before. I done been around the camera. I done worked the mics. I done plugged this up. I done did that. So when they come to you and they ask, hey, well, why this one done or why this one done, you'll know why because you know how that part of your business work. You know how that part of your life work because you have paid dues. You have put in the time. You have did the research. You have grind. You have put yourself through every situation, scenario from failing to getting back up to learning, taking classes, spending money in order to get the information to be who you are today. To be who you are today. And see, I'm going to tell you this. When we sit back and we want to see if we can trick God out of a blessing, we want to act like we can trick people just like we trick people by posting some to make it seem like we doing better than what we doing. We want to act like that and like God don't even see what's going on in our life. He see everything that's going on in your life, and this the funny thing. You think that you can get away with, okay, I'm gonna just do this on Sunday. But Lord, you need to give me a blessing. Yeah, I go to church every Sunday. But you only listen to the pastor. You never read the word for yourself. You never read the word for yourself. You taking what that man is saying to you, and you taking that is from God Almighty. You have to do the research for yourself. You have to read for yourself. You have to get that personal relationship for yourself. And don't think, okay, well, I can do this for 2 months. I can read, I can pray, I can do all this for 2 months. Now all of a sudden I'm just going to receive all these blessings. Because even though you paid your dues, it's time to get tested. Like when we go to get our license, just see your driver's license, right? First you got to study for the test. You got to study for the test. You got a written and you got a driving part. So on the written part, you study a book, you learn the rules, the do's, the don'ts, when to stop, when to go, certain lights, different scenarios that they tell you about in the book. You have to go and take a test for it. After you take the test for it, you also have to take an eye test to see how your vision is. You have to take an eye test. So after you pass the written test, they give you a permit so you can go and learn how to physically operate an automobile. So now you went from studying the paperwork to actually going out there driving the actual automobile. So now you learning about the signal light, gas, how fast to go, different situations. But guess what? You don't have your driver's license. You just have a permit. You still got a little bit for. You still got to go. You got a little bit more to do in order to obtain your license. So now you got the driver's part. You got to go, and most of the time you driving with a cop, ex-police. They are riding with you and marking out what you do right, what you don't do right. So they take you through all these scenarios, take you through stop lights. They take you to stop signs to see intersection to see what you're gonna do. Put you on the interstate sometime to see how you're gonna drive, how you're gonna get off, how you're gonna signal, you're gonna brake, all those things. Then when they get back, they let you know if you flunk, you're gonna have to come back and take it again because there's some adjustments that you need to make. But if you pass, guess what? After you pass, you still gotta pay money in order to get your driver's license. So after you pay that money, you actually get your driver's license. But it's a process that you had to go through in order to get your driver's license. You right now might be going through a process to go to a higher level, but since you want to skip certain, well, we want to skip the bad stuff. Let's keep it funky. We want to skip all the bad stuff in our life and get right to the good. And if we be honest, some of the bad things that we went through is the things that taught us to be who we are. They are. The bad situations we went through taught us to be who we are. The bad friendships that we had, the no good friends that talked about us behind our back, the no good friends that stole money from us, the no good friends that not only did all those things and went back and still smiled in our face. We learned from that situation that when we go into another friendship, we don't stop talking to people, but we might be more protective of our information on how we share certain things or how we do certain things with certain people because we got to make sure they pay their dues first before they get to this position in our life. See, we don't play that no more. We be like, hey, hold on. I gotta see you go through this. Especially if you've been in a bad relationship. If you have been in a bad relationship, you gonna make sure the next time I go into this, I want to make sure that this person is doing what they need to do. I want to make sure that I'm not. Last time I got in a relationship, 2 weeks I let him move in. 2 months I let him move in. I ain't get time. I ain't get time to learn him. I didn't get time to learn her, cause the sex was good. The sex was good. What they call they was a eater. So since they was a eater, now I done moved them in based off the sex, and I didn't know that he beat on women. I didn't know that she wasn't all that. She had a lot of issues. She got a lot of issues that's going on that I didn't know anything about. Her family crazy. She crazy. She cut your tires, bust your windows. She don't want to work. She don't want to get out now. But you didn't know that. But now that you out of that situation, you understand the value of the information that you have. And in order for you not to get in that situation again, you apply it to your life. Once you apply that to your life, you be like, you know what? It's certain parameters that I'm going to set to protect me so I won't have to go through that again. Because I done paid my dues now because I don't want to go through that. If you ever run into somebody that did a lot of dirt in life, not necessarily just did dirt, but ain't did something and they end up coming through it and making it on the other side, not all the time, but a lot of the time, that person don't want to go through that again, so they don't do what they did wrong before in order to get put back in that situation. They think twice. They take a second. No, I ain't going back to jail. I'm not getting another bad relationship. I almost died last time when I was drinking or I was popping those pills. I was smoking that weed that somebody had rolled up and I didn't know what was in there. Yeah. So now, you know what I'm going to do? I ain't doing that no more. Because I don't want to go through that situation again. I done paid my dues. I'm on the other side of that, and I don't want to go through it again. Some of y'all want to, it's not going to be, you're going to continue to go through the same situation until you learn your lesson. You're going to continue to pay dues. You're going to continue to bump your head until you learn what you need to learn, until you learn what you need to learn and apply it in your life so you don't have to go through that again. You're going to continue to go through the same thing over and over again. You're going to continue to pay dues on the same thing that you already paid dues on because your ego think that you can handle it. You think that you can do it. I don't need God. I don't have to pray about it. He pushed you into a corner. You rather stay in that corner than tell him about it in order to fight out of that corner. Let him pull you out of that corner instead of you trying to do it for yourself. You're gonna forever be locked in there. So I'll tell you like this. For everybody that paid their dues out there, I know you don't want to go through it again. And I'm gonna end it on this note. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank y'all for tuning in and spending time with me here on RMT. If you want to holler at me after this, you can go on Instagram, Facebook, Real Men Talk Podcast. Now follow, like, and drop a comment and let me know what you think about this podcast. And if you have anything else that you want to hear me speak about or anyone that you want to see come on the show, just let me know. All right. Appreciate y'all. Peace.